Hi guys, I am Jennifer and this is the Rookie Reader. Welcome. Today I want to talk about romance books. So I recently discovered that I am a fan of romance books, and I thought since this is the month of love, February, this would be a great time to talk about all of the romance books that I'm hoping to read at some point this year. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers who make videos about reading, and I've been writing down their suggestions now that I've found this new genre that I like. So I wanted to share some of the books with you that I want to read this year. So the first one is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read several of her books now, but I haven't read this one. So this one is about a woman who marries her high school sweetheart, and then I think within a year of marriage he disappears and is declared dead. And after several years she moves on with her life, eventually meets a new man, falls in love, gets engaged, and then all of a sudden her husband shows up again. So she's got to decide between the two men, which, like, I've already been thinking about this, like, who is she gonna pick? Like, what would be the right choice? Like, I don't know. So I'm really curious about that. And I'm sure that Taylor Jenkins Reid does the story right. She's an excellent writer. I've read her, I've read Malibu Rising, Carrie Soto is Back, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and there was another one. Oh yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six. So I've already read all of those. I loved all of them. Carrie Soto is Back made my top 10 last year, so yeah. Okay, this next book is called In the Unlikely Event, and it's by Rebecca Yarros. And when I saw the cover, I was like, Rebecca Yarros, why does that sound so familiar? She wrote Fourth Wing. I love Fourth Wing. So this book is about two strangers who meet on an airplane, and they go through a traumatic event on the airplane together. And then they end up going separate ways and living their own lives. He joins the military, she becomes a politician, and then they reconnect in a war zone where he's tasked with protecting her. Okay, next is The King of Wrath by Anna Wong. All I know about this book is that it's an arranged marriage trope, and I recently read Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which I absolutely loved. You guys should check out my next reading vlog, because that's my reaction to the book is in that reading vlog. But anyways, it's the same trope, an arranged marriage. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. Next is The Reason I Married Him by Megan Quinn. And this is actually a new release. It just came out on February 6th. And it's a marriage of convenience, it's a rom-com, it's enemies to lovers, and small town, and happily ever after. So it's like all the stuff I love, and that's really all I know about it. Okay, next is Throne of the Fallen. So this is going to be a fantasy romance, and I think King of Wrath is also a fantasy romance, but I could be totally wrong. I don't know, maybe not, but it sounds like it to me, King of Wrath. But Throne of the Fallen is a fantasy romance, and I loved Fourth Wing last year, which is also a fantasy romance. And this is about the Prince of Envy, who enters a competition to save his demon court. He also meets an artist, and they agree to work together to try to win this competition and try not to fall in love. I've heard several people review this book and they really liked it. So that's why I'm giving it a shot, because other people have recommended it. Next is Before We Were Strangers. And I don't know why, but for some reason, like, I'm just really like digging this plot. And this is probably gonna be one of the first ones I read, but it's by Renee Carlino, and it's a second chance romance. It's about this couple who met in college. Something happens and they end up breaking up and going separate ways, and then they meet later in life and reconnect. And I don't know, I just really like that. Is that a trope? But I don't know if that's a trope or not. Like, first loves reuniting, it sounds like a trope, but it just sounds really interesting to me, and I really want to read that one. Next is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. And this is a YA romance, and I'm excited about that. I enjoy YA books, so I'm thinking I'm gonna like this one. But it's about a teen who returns to his small Georgia town. He has been abroad. I think he was in Norway. He was in Norway for a few years. He comes back to his small town in Georgia, and he wants to reconnect with his best friend from childhood, female friend, and she, for some reason, is upset with him, and he doesn't know why. So, okay, this next one, this one will probably be the first one I read. I don't know, there's so many I want to read. The Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez, which I just read. I read 2 books by her recently. Pulling up my Goodreads list because I'm drawing a blank on the name of the books. Yes, Part of Your World. So first I read Part of Your World, and then I read Yours Truly, which is the second book in the Part of Your World series. I loved both of them, but I absolutely loved the very first one, Part of Your World. It was so good, and I cannot wait to read another Abby Jimenez book. So I'm gonna try the Happy Ever After Playlist because I've heard a lot of people say that it's really good. And the synopsis of this one is 2 years after losing her fiance, a couple of years after losing her fiance, a woman finds a dog, and then she discovers that the dog belongs to a musician who's currently on tour. He wants his dog back, and then they start communicating, I think they're texting back and forth, and she doesn't want to give the dog back, and he's on tour. And then their texting turns into phone calls. It's like a wrong place, wrong time romance. Okay, next is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. So this is a story of a city girl who attempts to reconnect with her estranged father who is living in Alaska. So she goes up to Alaska to try to reconnect with him. And when she's there, she meets a pilot, a rugged Alaskan pilot. And she falls for him, but then she's got to pick between, her city life in Toronto or living in the small town, rugged town with this man that she's in love with. So yeah, that's The Simple Wild. Okay, next is In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. In this book, a woman inherits a tulip farm, and if she wants to keep the tulip farm, she has to do 2 things. 1, she has to move to the small town where the tulip farm is, and 2, she has to get married. And unfortunately, her fiance just left her. So she has to get married within a year of moving to the small town and taking over the tulip farm. Okay, so this is another one that I can't wait to start, and it might be one of the first ones I read, but Magnolia Parks, and I can't believe I haven't read this yet. I've heard so many people talk about it. It's by Jessa Hastings, and what I know about this book is that it is Gossip Girl in London. So I love Gossip Girl. I love books about London, so I'm thinking I'm gonna love this book. And I don't know if I want to read this one first or the Happy Ever After playlist. I'm not sure, but I'm excited. I'm super excited about finally reading Magnolia Parks. The next one I want to read is called Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. And this is an alternating timeline story. I love alternating timeline books. What's happening in the past is two teenagers meet, they fall in love. In the present, they meet again, but she is engaged. Then the thing is she's not really happy, but she feels safe and secure with her fiance. But when she meets up with her, old flame, she's feels excited again and passionate, but she's really mad at him about something that happened in the past. That's all I know. Okay, next I want to read In Rome by Sarah Adams. I actually read the second book in this series, but they're standalone books. But what was the name of that book? I'm forgetting everything. Practice Makes Perfect was the name of that book. So this is the first book in the series, and Practice Makes Perfect, I rated a 3-star, not because it was bad. I mean, it was good. It was just it was easy, it was fun, it was cozy. And I'm thinking that When in Rome will probably be the same situation, but I'm looking forward to that. Sometimes I just want an easy, fun, cozy read. I just finished The Women by Christina Hanna, and I'm ready for something easy and fun and cozy. I don't always want heavy, heavy books. Okay, next I want to read Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. And this is about a woman who moves to a small town to escape her past trauma. And when she gets to the small town, she meets this man who doesn't speak and is not treated nicely by the other people in the town. And then finally, I want to read Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. So I've recently read a couple of her books. One of them I did not like at all, Love Theoretically. Was not a fan. And then the second one was Bride, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with Bride. I can't wait for you guys to see that reading vlog. That's coming out next week, that reading vlog where I read Bride. But in the story, Check and Mate, this is a YA romance. Again, I'm totally fine with reading YA. I've enjoyed YA, but it's a YA romance about two chess players. I also really enjoy playing chess. I'm not like competitive or know like strategies or anything. I just like to play it for fun with my family or family members and friends. So I'm just thinking I'm gonna like that book because I loved Bride, loved it. And it's totally different, but I'm just saying she's the same author, so there's hope that it'll be good, just as good. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, so that's it. If you guys have any other suggestions for some really great romances that I've missed because I haven't been reading romances my whole entire life, please put a comment down below. I wanna make sure I read all the good ones. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and I'll see you again next time.